Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Stephanie, Mike, and Amanda on the 360 Marketing Squad. What is up?
Hi everybody.
Hey,
Woohoo!
we're finally here, and we're missing someone. We're missing Jen Herman. Does anyone know where she is?
I know where she is.
Where is she?
She's on an airplane on her way here right now to Denver to the Divas Queenies weekend. So there's 8 of us gals that are hanging out here in this gorgeous, massive mansion. Sorry, I've got quite an echo because I'm broadcasting from this huge office that has things like vaulted ceilings and windows everywhere. But anyway, Jen is on her way here. She shall be here shortly, but she's in transit on a plane for a huge, big live broadcast that we have happening tomorrow. Just a little heads up.
Tomorrow. That's awesome. So you are in Denver. Mike, you are in St. Louis.
I am. And it was like single digits this morning, so nobody wants to be in St. Louis.
Oh my goodness. And I am of course here in San Diego, and Anna is tuning in. Say hi to Anna.
Hi, Anna. Oh, Anna. Hi. We love Anna. Anna is like a complete champion on every live stream. She's amazing.
Yes. So if you guys are just tuning in, let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and leave the comment #replay. So today on the 360 Marketing Squad Live, we're going to be talking about what's happening in the social media landscape. What has happened since like the last week since we've seen you, and so much has happened. But before we jump into that, let's talk about the Fyre Festival, which we covered last week. Mike, do you want to go ahead and brief people on what happened?
Yeah, there were 2 big stories that we covered last week. There was the #Fyre Festival, right? And then there was this phenomenon that was going on over on Instagram with eggheads, and I still don't really understand what the deal was with the eggheads. But with the Fyre Festival, there was this island and a festival that didn't actually happen, and influencers were stranded, so that made a lot of news. So we had a really interesting conversation about what that meant, what the impact is or was or will be on influencer marketing. So definitely go back and watch that episode if you didn't already. And I think we have a really interesting spin on that from one of our friends of the show.
Yes, we actually have Mitch Jackson, who, for those of you guys who don't know, Mitch Jackson, oh wait, my book, you have the book. You have his book.
What?
Yeah, so Mitch Jackson, for those of you who don't know, he is the streaming lawyer, and he shares so many good tidbits about what's happening with influencers in the industry. And we reached out because he is the go-to expert. We said, hey, what did you think of the Fyre Festival? And this is what Mitch had to say.
Hi everyone, Mitch Jackson, your streaming.lawyer. If you're planning on using an influencer to help market and brand your products and services, make sure you do the following. Number 1, put everything in writing. Whether you're dealing with the influencer directly or you're using a social media agency to find and interact with that influencer, all of the terms and conditions need to be in writing. A text message or a DM on Twitter or a private message on Facebook, it's not going to cut it. Number 2, make sure that the social media agency and the influencer agree in writing to follow all state and federal rules and regulations, and this includes all FTC disclosure requirements. Number 3, make sure that in your written agreement with the agency and influencer, or if you're dealing with the influencer directly, you set forth exactly what the influencer is allowed to do, what parameters, what flexibility that influencer has, but make sure in writing you set the terms and conditions of what that influencer is allowed to say, what you want him or her to say, and how and where they're going to be sharing your message and their message from. Number 4, make sure the social media agency you're dealing with, or if you're dealing with the influencer directly, make sure they're each covered with liability insurance. This is huge. It's a deal breaker for all of my clients if the people I'm dealing with do not have proper liability insurance coverage. Last but not least, make sure in your written agreements you have a hold harmless and indemnity agreement. If you're dealing with a social media agency, if you're dealing with the influencer, this is a provision in the written agreement that says if the influencer breaks the law, if the influencer creates liability for everyone else, and you get named as the brand or as the social media agency in a lawsuit or named in a claim, that influencer agrees to hold you harmless, to indemnify you, to reimburse you for any and all litigation costs and damages that might be entered against you relating to the transaction. If you guys have any questions, just click on over to streaming.lawyer, use the search bar, type in influencer or influencer liability, and you may just find the answer to your questions. Take care. My name is Mitch Jackson, and let's stay connected on social media.
Yes, you guys totally love Mitch Jackson.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's like a preach moment, like mic drop right there.
I know. I was like, I want to drop the mic, but then I can't because I'm live streaming. But that's okay.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
the point.
mine's on an arm. It doesn't work anymore.
Okay, yeah. So if you guys, if you have any legal questions when it comes to influencers, by all means, please reach out to Mitch Jackson because he speaks on multiple stages about that specific topic. He's well renowned. So if you need someone, then he's your go-to person for that. Now, you guys, I feel like when it comes to influencers, there are so many conversations about influencers. Plus, there's also the conversation about fake bots and fake likes. Did you guys hear about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
There may have been some rumblings online about this.
I think
Mike?
so. Yeah.
Yeah. So here, I'll give you the short of it. New York State Attorney General found that a firm operating out of the state of New York was illegally selling followers. And it's important to understand that it wasn't illegal before this particular development. So anybody could sell fake followers. But what really made this particular case stand out was the way that they were selling the followers. It wasn't that, there was somebody in Indonesia hitting the like button or anything like that. Excuse me. But they were creating fake accounts. They were using other people's names and images and using all other kinds of deceptive practices way beyond what most of us were even familiar with when it comes to fake followers. And the sad part is big names like John Leguizamo, the actor, were using this firm to build up their follower count and to increase that vanity metric. So this could be precedent setting. We could see a major shift in the industry, thankfully, away from companies that are practicing these kinds of things.
So can we just circle back around to vanity metrics? Can we just have like a little bit of a discussion on vanity metrics and what vanity metrics mean?
Yeah.
So from my perspective, sharing just because I'm really heavy into analytics and when it comes to measuring your marketing and actually getting success and being able to drive change and affect change with your marketing and your marketing spend, when you are using fake followers, you're diluting the quality of your audiences. You're diluting the quality of what's actually sitting behind that little vanity metric of your number count of followers, whether that be on Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. It doesn't matter. But the more you dilute it, the less effective it is. And the vanity metric only goes so far. So there are so many people out there that are performing really, really well with really small numbers, but that's because they have their tribe, their following, the people that are actually engaging. And in the end, the bottom line is engagement. You need engagement. Engagement is like the holy grail. Like that is the metric you should be paying attention to, is how many of those followers are actually clicking, liking, commenting, sharing, watching. And if you don't have that happening, it's diluting the quality of all of your audiences. And in the end, it's not actually achieving measurable goals that you can use to your advantage for a long-term asset as it relates to your business. So vanity metrics are sort of like the bee in the bonnet. Everybody's after them, but they don't make any sense because they don't get you anywhere.
And let's just draw a distinction between buying followers from a third-party company, where like a Fiverr, where you might say, I'm going to spend $20 and get 1,000 followers. They're not targeted. They're probably not real, right? You're just buying the number. That's different from using the native platform like a Facebook ad to increase your follower count. You're not buying followers in the same way. You're putting ads in front of people with the hope and intention that they will, if interested, like your page. So you're creating an opportunity to grow your audience, and you are paying for that. So you are, in one sense, paying for followers, but not in the same way and not for the same reasons.
And so here's a really good comment from Anna. Anna said, so many accounts have huge numbers but low engagement. So something definitely to be aware of. I know Jen talks about this a lot, especially on Instagram, because she speaks all over different stages. And then I remember someone had called her out they're like, yeah, but if you really know all your stuff about this, and how come you only have XYZ followers? And she's like, but look at my engagement. Look at all of these messages, real conversations that I'm having with people, because those real conversations turn into conversions. So it's really working out for her very well. So having said that, there was also news about Twitter shutting down the API, right? And so, Mike, do you want to go ahead and quickly sum that up, and then we'll jump into Jen's video?
Yeah, so this was huge news, again, out of Twitter this week. And along the same line about followers and trying to reduce this dependency that so many businesses have on increasing that follower count. So there are tools out there that were using aspects of Twitter's API. That's their programming language that allows third-party tools to use Twitter's information and data and do things on that Twitter platform. So these businesses, these tools, were using Twitter's API to allow you to automatically follow or unfollow people. And so it was real. It's a real tactic. It's not even necessarily a terrible tactic if done the right way, in a very specific, meaningful way. But when you're using a tool
I'm going to challenge you on
to
that one.
automate it, we can talk about that. And I can tell you the way to do it that's smart. But if you're going to use a tool to automate it, that's totally not going to get you what you want as a business, which is bottom line results, which is the kind of real engagement. So Twitter said, we're not going to allow that anymore. And it shut off access to their API with a couple of big tools, a couple of famous tools, Managed Flitter being one, that basically left that tool with, well, what are we going to do now?
Yeah. Okay. Well, before you two put them up, because I think Mike already has gloves, and Amanda's like, Amanda turned red. She's not even using Snap Camera, but my homegirl is red right now. Let's go ahead and hear what Jen has to say. All right. And if you guys are tuning in, go ahead and let us know where you're tuning in from. Give us some likes, give us some hearts, give us some shout outs. All right. Let's hear what Jen has to say.
Hey you guys, I am so sorry that I can't be there live. I actually even contemplated doing this from the airplane, but while the show is live, I'm going to be on the approach into Denver, so they would make me shut off my internet anyways, and I wouldn't be able to live stream from the plane. But I actually thought about doing that just so I could be there live with you guys for this show, because so many good things to talk about. One of which I want to bring up is this whole new update that just came out regarding some apps that got shut down for Twitter access for violating the Twitter API. And so basically these apps are doing the follow-unfollow strategies that we see especially on Twitter and especially on Instagram. And Twitter basically enforced their API against these three apps, which are Managed Flitter, Status Brew, and Crowdfire. So if you were using any of those apps to engage with other people on Twitter, can't do it no more because Twitter shut them down. Why? Because they were violating Twitter's rules for aggressive following and follow churn. Because basically they were doing the follow-unfollow. They follow a bunch of people, then they go ahead and unfollow those people, 24, 36, 48 hours or whatever later. So they decided to crack down on these. These were some of the bigger apps that are out there that were doing these functionalities. So they've really kind of put a stronghold out there by shutting down these apps. That doesn't mean that there aren't other apps out there doing these things, but it's a step in that direction. And we're seeing a lot of that going on in the news right now. Not just with Twitter, it's happening over on Instagram. Instagram had their AI that they updated late in 2018, which is now basically scanning accounts for fake activity. So fake followers and fake likes, if it detects those, it's going to immediately delete those from any account that had those likes. So if your photo was getting fake likes and you had 100 likes that were fake, they would take those 100 likes away. So you're going to have less engagement. If you had fake followers, you're gonna take those fake followers away and delete them off your account. So they're really trying to crack down on this. Additionally, there was actually just I think it was in New York. I can't remember. I don't have the article handy, but I think it was in New York where their precedent has now been set that by actually being the accounts that sell the fake followers, that it's actually illegal. So now we actually have a judicial system precedent that says that these apps cannot do this type of activity. So more and more, hopefully we will see these bot activity decline, that less and less people will be able to use the follow for follow strategies going forward. So I'm going to leave it open to you guys to discuss this in more detail. I wish I could be there to discuss it, but I think this is a great thing, and I think it's going to mean a lot of progress forward in terms of organic and authentic engagement on social media. Over to you guys for thoughts and comments.
And on the left side, we have Mike Alton. Dong, 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 dong. And on the right side, we have
Ding,
Amanda
ding, ding, ding,
Robinson. Ding, 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 ding. What are your thoughts about the whole follow-unfollow strategy or just the whole Twitter API thing?
Okay, so before I dive into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to Pam Curry, who's watching over on the Digital Gal feed right now, and all the other folks that are watching live on the Digital Gal feed. Hey, keep those comments rolling. All right, so I'm ready to dig into this. So Mike, you and me, let's have a little conversation here.
Okay, wait, 1 second. Let me get out of the middle of this real quick. So it's going to
Okay.
be Mike and Amanda. Okay, there you go.
All right, Mike, bring it in close. Bring it in close here. Bring it in close. Don't use follow unfollow. All right, let me quantify that here. So, sorry. So the
Such
follow.
a fugitive moment. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
thank you.
done.
I tried. Thank you. So the follow.
Do not negotiate with terrorists.
All right, on track. Keep it on track here. Follow unfollow. In my opinion, and Jen Herman, even though it feels like she's actually here, that was amazing. The follow unfollow tactic, in my books, it's inauthentic. It's lacking the authenticity of a real human in behind it. Even though you picked your hashtags, you picked your topics, and you're going after people who are probably interested in your content, who will probably follow you back. That's cool. And anybody who didn't follow you back, clearly they're not interested in you. And it's a great way of growing your followers and spreading your content to people who actually care and who you could connect with. But in all honesty, you're not a real person behind that. It's an automated tool that is not actually an authentic human acting genuinely and authentically behind your profile. And that's where it irks me. That's where it feels slimy. That's where it feels like a tactic and not an actual strategy. So, Mike, what do you have to say about that?
Mike, your rebuttal, please.
Your rebuttal.
Well, no,
Okay.
I would agree in the sense that it's not a good idea to use a tool for this at all. What I like to see people do, particularly new businesses who are just starting brand new accounts, is to use a follow first tactic, not follow unfollow, but simply follow first. 100, 200 accounts that are relevant, that interest them, that they are going to continue to follow, whether they unfollow them or whether they follow back or not. That's what I mean when I talk about follow first. Not using a tool, but using a lot of things that you mentioned, looking at hashtags, right? Looking at bios, looking for people that are interesting to you and may potentially be interested in you in return, because again, you're a new account, you're a business, you are trying to grow an audience. There's nothing wrong with wanting to grow an audience. We don't want you to be so obsessed with the number that's your goal. It's not the number that's the goal. It's growing the audience, growing the engagement, growing the community.
So I agree with you, and you are actually doing all of that work yourself as a real human, going in and actually finding people, whether it's by the hashtag, whether it's by common interest, finding them, looking at their profile, actually spending time looking at who they are, and then giving them a follow if it makes sense. I mean, those are manual follows. You are actually following them because there is a mutual business interest, and that to me makes sense. But you are the real human in behind that, and you are putting the work in, you're putting the time in, and you are earning it. And if they follow you back, there's a huge potential for actual dialogue to take place versus automation tools are just taking advantage of a situation.
Got it. Okay, so we've got actually a really good comment from Scott, who's watching on the Lights Camera Live page. And Scott said,
Hi, Scott.
hey, Scott, follow unfollow strategy can and does work when done correctly. And I've tested with apps to do it to prove it actually gains followers. The problem comes in when you don't follow the people using brand-specific hashtags. I tend to just follow and only unfollow if the max has been reached. Does that change your opinion on anything?
Well, I really want to make a point here that yes, it works. Like, there's no question that it doesn't work. And there's no question that you will probably attract followers who will engage with you. So there's that holy grail of engagement that you're going after. So it does work, but you're not earning it. You're not earning it, and you're not putting the hard work in behind it to build those meaningful conversations in a way that, for all the people it does work for, you are spamming accounts for I'd say 80% of the people that don't want to hear from you or don't want that follow unfollow. And I don't know, like I have a very, very small number of people on my Instagram account. So I can see the follow unfollow, like the rainbow of, I get a huge spike in followers in a day. I'll get like 30 followers in a day. And then the very next day or 2 days later, I'm, down by 30 followers. And I can see that because it's just such a small number. So I can see all of the influxes of follow and follows. And it just feels it's clogging my feed with people following me. And if I go and look at those accounts, like I keep having these like snowmobile accounts follow me. I'm not going to buy a snowmobile product right now. Just leave me alone. And it's just clogging my feed and it's clogging it's just the most annoying, spammy experience as a user to be spammed by your follow and follow account.
But what about to Scott's point? Because Scott is saying, well, what if they follow you back, right? Because I feel like when I go to a conference, I'll definitely follow, a specific hashtag, like social media marketing world, right? But if they don't follow me back, then I want to have that balance of followers, right? And people that I'm following. So then I'll go in and clean that up. Is that a bad thing? Are you just saying
it is.
It is?
I feel it is, because if you follow them and you don't have a good business interest for following them to be able to consume their content, don't follow somebody if you don't plan on consuming their content. That's how I feel. Like if you don't actually want to see their information or connect with them as a human being, don't follow them in the first place. I just feel like that's where the spammy, slimy salesman tactic feels like it's coming in, because it's a one-way street. You're only following them if they follow you back to consume your content. So you don't care about them at all. You're not in it for them. You're in it for you. And that's where it just feels, yes, I'm on a soapbox right now. Yes, I'm preaching. And yes, I have small follower accounts everywhere because I don't use these tools.
Mike, did you want to add anything to that conversation?
Well, I would say that you don't need to use these tools. You don't need to use these tactics to grow a large audience if your business needs a large audience. And let's be honest, some businesses need a large audience. If you are a local real estate agent, you don't need a large social media audience. But if you are selling to a nationwide or a global audience, that helps. Believe me, the numbers help. But these tactics aren't what's going to get you there. And that's what everybody needs to understand. You aren't going to make sales to the people that you are building in this way. The people who are going to buy from you are the people who find you because your work is shining amongst everybody else's dross. And they're going to follow you and they're going to want to learn from you and they're going to want to buy from you because you're doing outstanding work, not because you followed them or unfollowed them.
And I really feel like where we're going, the direction we're going in the industry is that I think that things are shifting away from those vanity metrics. They're shifting away from the volume. And I think we're moving more into the actual one-on-one relationships or the relationship building. It's all, relationship marketing is a thing, it always has been, but I think in our influencer marketing sphere, going back to, the Fire Festival conversation that we launched this with, and going back into how shallow a lot of these relationships are, I think there's a real need. There's a real need in our industry for people to have deeper, more meaningful relationships, and I think that's where we're going to start seeing more people have more success, is by putting that focus and that emphasis on those meaningful relationships and putting effort into creating opportunity to attract those meaningful relationships versus the cheap and cheerful way of going about it.
Got it. And we have
Let me share with. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to read a comment from Craig. So Craig says, the issue is with some platforms only opens up certain features to accounts with high follow counts, like early access. Does this encourage this type of disingenuous tool-based following? Ooh, interesting thought.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame. And a perfect example of this is the ability to swipe up inside an Instagram story and allow your Instagram followers who are consuming your story content to get to a link. That's the kind of thing that businesses want. It's the kind of thing that influencers want to be able to do. And quite frankly, it's the kind of thing a lot of fans want to be able to do from the influencers. They don't want to have to go hunting for a link in a bio or remember a link and have to type it in manually someplace else. So if you have to hit 10,000 followers to have that functionality, people want that. But let me share something with you guys, because you need to hear from somebody who has been on both sides of this. I've tested all the tools, and I've tested the tools that are a bit nefarious. I've tested the tools that automatically follow and unfollow, the tools that automatically do engagement, because I want to know for myself if it works. And it has no positive impact on my bottom line. In fact, I've used tools to help me get over 10,000 followers on Instagram. And when I stop using those tools, the followers start to leave.
Ah.
I'm no longer at the 10,000 follower mark on Instagram because I stopped subscribing to those kinds of tools. And so they're not adding people to my account anymore. And they're not overcoming the churn that happens when you get followed by people who aren't interested in you, fake accounts, spammy accounts, all those kinds of things. So those fake accounts are still going away, but I'm not adding accounts at the rate that I used to. Now, part of it is my own fault because I don't post to Instagram on a regular basis, so I'm not getting organic followers. I know.
Mike!
Hard. But
Jen is on the plane
point
right now,
is,
like, what just happened?
I've been going backwards. I'm at like, I don't know, 9,700, 9,600 followers. So I lost a lot.
Can we just touch on though, and again, I'm sorry, I keep getting on my little marketing soapbox here, but the whole concept of you should be using Instagram stories or Instagram in that regard as a storytelling tool to actually tell your story and not a marketing billboard. So if you don't have a swipe up to link to an external site that takes people off of Instagram, it's not the end of the world. Use Instagram and use Instagram stories for building in a native experience that's actually providing value to people in the platform that they're trying to engage with you in, not just to sell or upsell or sell your products or get that marketer value out of it. It's not another marketing billboard. We have lots of opportunities to grow those ongoing relationships. So the way that I see it is that whether you have 10,000 followers and a swipe up link or not shouldn't change how valuable that platform is to you as an influencer or as a marketer, and it shouldn't make it be, oh, I don't have that feature. Don't look at it as in features and benefits to you. Look at it as in, how am I providing value on this platform, and does it make sense for me to be on this platform? Is that where my audience is? And if the answer is yes, then keep cranking out good content that benefits them, and by virtue of you doing that, they will circle back around to you in a way that makes sense to them. So it's not another marketing billboard.
Love it. All right, you guys, we still got other topics to talk about, okay? But if you guys have any feelings towards this that you want to go ahead and
Oh my
share.
God, wait, no, I need full screen. Throw me on full screen right now.
Okay.
Right now. Bring it in, girl. Bring it in.
This is so meta.
We're here. See, I got off a plane. I'm here. I'm doing everything I can to actually participate in 360. This is amazing. They can't hear you right now. Actually, if I then I'll.
No, I could hear you. I
Okay.
guess you can't hear us.
She can't hear you guys.
She can't hear us. That's all good.
But,
Hey,
and
Jen.
girls, come on in here. Come on in. We've got everybody here. Kelly, bring it in. Come on, we've got.
Look at all those
And now it's
beautiful
a show.
faces. And now it's a show. Well, now's a good time for you to let us know about what the Divas Retreat is. Amanda, you want to chime in a little bit?
Oh, and hi, Steph. I didn't see Steph.
All right, so
Okay.
the Divas Retreat.
We're leaving in a half hour.
Okay. Anyway,
She's like,
Oh,
But I have to at least come say hi.
can somebody get me more wine, please?
And my tiara is still in the bag. I'm literally still in my coat. I literally just got off the plane. I'm so glad that you're here.
Okay. All right. So the girls are gonna go and all right.
Since I can't hear, I can't.
Jen can't hear. She's gonna go unpack her stuff.
Bye.
But I heard it was amazing.
Love you.
So the Queenies, obviously, the 7 Queenies retreat. So there are 8. So sorry, guys. There are 8 of us marketing divas that are here, and it's a Find Your Tiara. So what we're doing is we're doing a big live broadcast here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, where you're going to have all of us Queenies in one room, sharing all of our wisdom and knowledge at what it's like to try to stand out in a noisy social media world, which I think actually dovetails very nicely into the conversation that we have been having here about using all these tools and tactics and all of these automations to try and make yourself stand out. So you're going to be able to hear from 8 of us who each run our own digital marketing businesses or are entrepreneurs in our own way, and how we as individuals and as females, how we actually stand out and break through that noise and all the trials and tribulations that we've gone through. So we're here at an Airbnb thank you. And wine, there we go.
I need that. What in the world?
Oh, yeah. Let me just
Wine.
go get my wine. Mike, can you get me a wine? Can you pour it? You know,
Yeah.
can I get him a drink?
Yeah, I love how that just
You got tacos that just come into you from the side.
Tacos. Cool. So that's Tiara's. That's tomorrow. At what time should people go ahead and tune in?
So that's 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and we have some free giveaways. I'm really excited about this. We're being sponsored by Iographer, and we're giving away an Iographer prize pack, which is completely freaking phenomenal. A whole beefed out Iographer pack, backpack, a bunch of accessories along with it. We're also giving away Camtasia licenses, so a free license to Camtasia software, which is a video editing software.
You
which
get
is
Camtasia. You get Camtasia.
You get a Camtasia. And we're also giving away a ticket for Social Media Week Lima that happens in Ohio in the summertime. And pretty much almost all of us girls that are here are speaking at Social Media Week Lima. So you have the
Are we
chance to
all?
watch.
We are.
I think so. So Social Media Week Lima, put on by Jessica Phillips and Now Marketing Group. Jessica is here as well. She's one of the queenies that are here. So you're going to get to hear from all of us. You're going to get the chance to win some pretty kickin' prizes by watching that live stream, and it's just going to be a really good time. And then after that, if you are in the Denver area, we have a social media meetup happening in the evening here in Denver. We'll drop more details on that coming soon. But before we get too far in, we still have lots of other social media news to get to.
We do. In fact, Facebook just had their recent community boost, you guys. Did you hear about all the updates that are going to be coming out for the groups? Yes? No? Maybe so?
Yeah.
I haven't had. I was in transit on an airplane when I finally got the little rundown on everything. So I haven't even had the chance to peel back all the layers and go through. I've just had the high level bullet points.
Yeah.
So
well, cool. Well,
let's dig into this. Let's see what we've got.
Let's dig into this. Okay, so the first one is helping group admins invest, engage, and manage. So to make things easier, they're adding new post formatting tools. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've got the social media strategist group. We've got the 360 marketing level, level 1 squad. What do you think about the formatting tools? How do you think that will go ahead and help you engage with members if they're violating a rule? All of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was kind of hoping when they said formatting that they mean markup. And so I don't know. I don't know what that means, because they don't really go into much detail. So I'm really hoping it's some basic bold, italic, that kind of stuff, because as the writer, I want to make my posts look amazing. But it goes on, like you said, to talk about what happens when somebody violates the rules. So it's kind of ambiguous to me what they're talking about.
Well, there is this one functionality where you could actually put you could insert a quote into the actual blog post format, which I thought was really interesting. So it actually looks like a blog entry. But then I started to think to myself, would you blog more on Facebook then? Would you recommend that?
Don't do that. No.
That's the professional. No.
That's a terrible idea.
And then, okay, so the other thing that they're working on is bringing mentorship into groups. Have you guys seen this feature, this functionality, in the Social Media Marketing Society or 360 or the Strategist group? Have you seen that little, now you could become a mentor for your members? Have you seen that?
Well, I'll be honest, I have seen it, and I have applied for it in some of the groups that it is turned on for. So as an admin of the group, you can enable the feature or not. You have the option. And I've tried engaging with that tool, but that's where it stops. I fill out all my information, and then I hear nothing back. So I haven't actually seen it running successfully as from a user experience.
Got you. And then here's the other thing that's happening is that they're simplifying the page admin experience with all the different messages. And this has been kind of weird for me because sometimes, right, so let's say I do my Instagram stories and, people will DM you and I'll see that in Instagram. Well, when I'm doing Facebook stories, people will still DM me, but unlike Instagram where it tells you this is the story that they saw, it's just a random message and then I have to guess, oh crap, is that what they were talking about? Have you guys seen this?
I'm bringing Jen back in.
Go ahead, come back in, Jen.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. It's a hard door to close. So just taking my headphones off. I'm sorry if we get any feedback. If we do, Stephanie, just let us know, okay?
Oh, yeah, I'll totally kick you off. No, I'm just kidding.
I know you will. Jen just has to leave. She's ruining the show. It's fine.
Jen, what do you think about the new features of the Facebook Community Boost that just rolled out? Like the new page formatting, how to manage members, any of that stuff?
So I didn't read all of them, but I did see some of them. I kind of feel like some of them are like, yay. None of the ones I was like, really? Like, I mean, it's like the search functionality. It's just kind of like, it's good to be able to search your members. Like I see that, but it's like, I don't know. There's a couple of features that I just felt like weren't all of that exciting that I was like, they kind of like hyped them up with the other ones where they were like trying to make them be these like really big deal, but really it was like, hey, it really wasn't that big of a deal. But you know, like in the whole page integration and stuff, I'm like, I just don't feel like I don't think for most people it's that big of a deal, to be honest. But in the same turn, I know people that were at the announcement yesterday, and they really enjoyed it, and they were saying like some of the news, you know, was really exciting, and I guess it depends on how you run your Facebook group. You know, like I think we kind of run our Facebook groups a little bit differently in terms of the community that we have. Different types of communities need those things, and if you have 200,000 members in your Facebook group, you probably need a search functionality. When you have 200, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, like, I know you, I like you, and I don't like you.
You get a temptation like
Why are you still in this group? Boop.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
That's a great moment to let everybody know that if you are not already a member of the 360 Marketing Squad, it's time to become a member. First of all, it's only $5 a month, $5 a month, and you get to hang with all four of us. Lovely faces. You get expert advice from 4 marketing experts that cover off all sorts of different areas and nooks and crannies of digital marketing in the marketing industry. So you get to ask your questions and it will get answered, or we will find somebody who has an answer. So we're kind of like your back pocket community of people that can support you, get the answers that you need, and keep you up to date with all this stuff that we're cramming here into this little show. You get this on a trickled out basis. As we hear about things, we share things into that group as well. So for $5 a month, it's kind of a no-brainer if you're not already a member. So
and people are getting answers to like any question. Like people will ask questions, and Mike, of course, because we love Mike dives into like a full blog post response. It's like literally a 2,000-word response in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
But Amanda has been jumping in. We've been doing like miniature audits of people's content. Stop. But it is definitely one of those things where we have, you know, been able to answer so many different types of questions in so many different capacities. And yeah, for $5 a month, like to have all 4 of us.
And it's not just answering questions. We also do a monthly live training. So we'll do between the 4 of us or special guests that we can bring in. And we have expert training on actual hot topics. If you want to learn how to do chatbots, if you want to learn how to do Facebook ads, if you want to learn how to grow your Instagram following, if you want to learn how to blog and do SEO, if you want to learn how to live stream, it's all happening in that group. And there's a lot of resources in there already for you. So $5 a month, just come hang out with us.
Hey.
And in fact, this month I'm going live and I'm going to be teaching you exactly not just what content to create, but how to organize and structure the content on your site so that you actually generate real traffic, leads, and sales.
And Mike, you're actually working on something new right now. Didn't you just launch something? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for those of you that sell products or services and want to be able to run sales, that want to launch a new product or service, I just basically packaged everything that I know about creating a campaign, whether it's a launch campaign or a sale campaign, and put it into a planner that you can download and go through the worksheets to figure out what you're going to talk about, figure out what blog content that you're going to create, what emails you're going to send out, and when. And you can use my Google document template to put your own plan together and collaborate with a team if you have one, or even use a Trello board that I put together. Thanks for the idea, Stephanie. So there's a Trello board that you can copy, and you can even see the actual campaign plan that I put together for this launch and copy exactly what I did right down to the emails and the subjects and everything that I'm using for this launch.
That is awesome. That is brilliant. And P.S., by the way, Amanda, aren't you working on something pretty badass right now?
Yes. Okay. So I kind of have my 4-week Facebook ads training that I launched that I'll be honest, I really should have actually used Mike's template, and I will be for my next launch, because there's a lot that I could have learned from Mike for this round. But what it is, it's 4 weeks of Facebook ads training. I do 4 live trainings in a private Facebook group. You only have me for 4 weeks, so it's quick in and out. It's not pre-recorded videos. It's live training. And what I teach you is I teach you how to create Facebook ads week 1. Week 2, I'm teaching you how to do your audience targeting. Week 3, I'm teaching you about budgeting. strategy and campaigns. And week 4, I teach you how to read and analyze all those results and create reports. So you get all of that in 4 weeks, plus you have me on hand to answer any questions as we go through the group. So 4 weeks, and the next round is starting Tuesday. So if you want to sign up for that, there's still time to get in. And then I close the doors, I run the program for 4 weeks, and then I open it again for the month of March. So.
And we should point out that the people who did her last round in January are seeing great results. They're loving it. She's getting amazing feedback from them. And it's something, like I always tell people, you guys, and obviously the 4 of us work together intricately for a lot of reasons, but this girl is the only person who has unlimited carte blanche access to all of my accounts for Facebook and Instagram advertising, because she's so good and she's the only person I trust with that level of access to everything. So of course I'm going to, I think her course is amazing.
No, don't leave just yet, because Jen, we know that you're working on some super amazing stuff right now. You had this really epic Facebook post of like, y'all, pay attention because I'm blowing up. So Tiara style, tell us what's going down.
Well, I'm writing a book. It's
just a book. Just a book.
A little thing. No big deal.
Just this little thing called Instagram for Dummies. So it's the second Dummies book. We did Instagram for Business, which launched in January 2018, and Instagram for Dummies will come out in October of this year. So just a couple things going on, just writing a book and trying to, get clients and speaking all over the place. And I'll be in Scottsdale next week, and then we've got Social Media Marketing World coming up, and then I have a bunch more conferences.
I can't keep up with her.
Including, fingers are crossed, for some international travel that I cannot fully disclose yet because the visa has not been approved. But hopefully there will be more news soon. So lots going on in this world.
Dang.
Bum, bum, bum.
You
Just
guys
a little tease.
are awesome. Okay, cool. Well,
Stephanie, you just finished a launch.
oh my
I just-
god.
don't be shy. I just
You
come on.
just finished a launch. You guys, Lights Camera Live, the mastermind. We've got like a bunch of amazing people in there. Like, I call them my captivators, because they're gonna go ahead and learn how to launch their own Facebook Live show in order to captivate an audience. And you guys, I'm telling you, in a couple of weeks, you're gonna see some badass broadcasts. You're gonna be like, that's a Lights Camera Live thing over there. So pay attention to that. That'll be a ton of fun. And P.S. by the way, like, Mike's campaign planner totally saved me on that. So, like, you guys, if you plan on doing a launch, Yee already said that she's doing something for her Kickstarter campaign. Mike's already using it for his campaign. This is going to be an awesome opportunity for you guys to just follow along to like what we're doing. We're doing some pretty badass stuff. Cool. All right, so
Legit.
if you guys have any other questions about things that we've been talking about today, by all means, go ahead and drop them into the comments. Anna was amazing. She said, you guys are movers and shakers. We sure are. Hip shakes and high fives. Hey. Where's my, I don't have mine, but I have my MDMC cup. With my Valentine's Day thing.
We've got wine.
We do have wine, which I don't like to drink in live. It's sort of a rule of thumb, but
Given that we literally have to be ready in 15 minutes to go for dinner, we had to, and I literally just got off a plane, we had to get started.
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what, you guys, it's already been 40 minutes, and I think like we covered a lot today. Y'all got, yeah, go ahead.
There's one more piece of news that has not been discussed here, and what that is related to Facebook advertising.
That's right.
So I'm gonna get like a little geeky on you here for a minute, and forgive me. This is, I know.
Because you're going to have to explain it to me.
Okay, so let me explain this to Mike. All right, so Mike. If you've done any Facebook advertising, and you've gone beyond the boost button, so clicking the boost button is kind of like doing Facebook ads with training wheels, and it creates your campaign, your ad set, and your ad behind the scenes.
Why did I just think Facebook ads for babies?
That is so the next course name.
That's Amanda Robbins' book. All right, so when you click that boost button, it's all done behind the scenes for you. If you go beyond the boost button and you're creating your own ads in Facebook Ads Manager, you have your campaigns, your ad sets, and your ads. And when you've been doing advertising, Facebook advertising, typically in the past, when the point that you set the budget, how much you want to spend on that, happens in that middle section, the second one of 3. So it happens at the ad set level. So you've got your campaign, your ad set, and your ads. And the budget happens in the middle section there. Well, Facebook opened up a while back the ability to kind of set it at the campaign level, that very first level, and to trickle the money down among your ad sets and then among your ads. And Facebook does a lot of automating and picking and choosing how it's going to allocate that budget to what ads and what targeting based on the results that you're getting. So Facebook is trying to work in your favor. They're trying to automate a lot of stuff in behind the scenes. But up to this point, at the same that middle level where your ad sets are made, where your budgeting has typically been done, that's also the same spot where you pick your targeting, so your target audience. So you can have multiple different target audiences. You can be going after your website visitors, after a saved audience of people in a geographic area, people who have been watching your videos on Facebook. So you can have all sorts of different ad sets with different targeting, and you set your budget for each of them. So you can have, $25 on one, $50 on another, $10 on another. You can spread your budget out any way you want. Well, earlier Facebook had changed that and given an option for you to set the budget at the campaign level, and it'll just roll down across everything as Facebook deems necessary. You lose a little bit of control if you're trying to test different audiences against each other to see which one works best. Anyway, Facebook has now made changes that are coming in September, not right now. In September, they are now going to be removing or taking away the ability to set the budget at the ad set level, and they're pushing it all up to that campaign level, to the top level. So that's going to change the behavior, the way that we as Facebook advertisers structure our campaigns. It's not going to change the results that you're getting necessarily. It's not going to change your actual ads. It's not going to change too much in that way. It's just going to change how we set up those campaigns and how that budget is being distributed. It's a significant enough change that it has me going, why are they doing that? It's a significant enough change that it means that I actually have to change how I'm teaching my 4-week Facebook ads training program.
Snap.
Which is okay. Of course. How we adapt. This is called Facebook. I mean, it changes every other day. But right now, there is no change right now other than the only change I've noticed is that when I go in to create an ads using Ads Manager, not the boost button, but using Ads Manager, by default now, when I create a campaign, the budget is automatically set at the campaign level, whereas before it wasn't automatically there. It was the next level down at the ad set level. So there's changes happening, there's changes brewing, there are things that are happening, things coming down with Facebook. So it's just something to pay attention to if you are already building Facebook ads, and thought we should talk about it because that's been the...
Do you think it's like a saturation thing? Like just because, like, so one of the things I know is when we have these like surge periods, like we just had like during Super Bowl and ads,
yes.
Prices go up during the holiday season, ad prices go up because everyone all of a sudden is running ads. Yeah. And because it's such a saturated market, do you think something like that kind of campaign level management is Facebook's trying to control because there's just so many marketers at this point and there's so many people trying to control the ad spend that they're trying to give it better association, like that they're trying to control where that money goes?
I say personally, no, I don't think it has anything to do with that at all. I think that they're trying to, I really do truly feel like Facebook is trying to get you better success with the ads. They want you to spend more. They want you to be successful. They want you to have success, trying to say that, success.
Have some more wine.
Have some more wine. Thank you. Don't drink it live, people. They want you to be successful because they want you to get those results so that you'll continue coming back to the platform and spending even more. So I think it's a move that probably from the numbers and research, and gosh, this is just speculating right now. I don't have any data behind this right now. I think the reason being is that when you are controlling your budgets at your ad set level, you don't have all that opportunity to optimize. If you had $100 to spend on a campaign and $100 only, and you split it evenly, $50 on one ad set and $50 on the other, it's stuck there. I mean, Facebook has to spend that $150 on that ad set that might not actually be performing at all. Meanwhile, they could have said, well, dang, if you just let us send it at the campaign level, that money out even on the ad set that's already performing, that needs more fuel put on that fire, that needs more budget going into it, we could have done that for you and gotten you better numbers and better success. So up until now, it's just been like historically, the typical way of doing it is you set your budgets at the ad set level anyway. Yeah. So I just see this as a lot of opportunity for Facebook to take a little bit more of that control back into helping with optimizing automatically kind of in the back end. But for people like me who really like to test things and take budget,
I can see like this is good for like me.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have to running ads, because Facebook's going to optimize it for me. They're going to make me be more successful. So I'm more likely to say Facebook ads work versus me thinking I know what I'm doing and I jump in there and throw a bunch of money on something with the wrong target audience or like a poorly performing ad copy or something like that. And then I go, ads don't work, and I stop spending money.
If I had I want to say like a nickel. Do they even say a nickel anymore? It's not a Canadian term, but a nickel for every time
We have
somebody.
nickels in America.
Okay. Nickel for every time somebody said Facebook ads don't work for me. It's like, oh honey, just let me touch your ad account. I bet I can fix it for you.
Yeah.
That sounds
But
so,
that's
that
the thing,
sounds
it's
like a
not-
pickup line at like social media marketing world. Let me touch your ad account.
Okay, Amanda.
Is this woman harassing your ad account?
This made me think of a very specific Facebook group chat last night, but I'm not going to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Yes.
We're gonna have a table. We'll have a special table.
So that's where we're at with Facebook advertising news for going beyond the boost.
Nice.
I kind
And
of
if
feel like I
anyone-
got to put the gloves back on because I don't really agree with your vision of Facebook's altruism.
Oh.
I kind of think they're in it for them, but we'll see.
Wait,
We'll
wait,
see,
no, no,
they
no,
say
no.
something.
I want to side by side. Go for it. Jen, can you scooch over to Amanda and like you actually like her? No, scoot to her. There you go. Okay. All right, Mike, I'm so curious about your opinion on this.
Like
Go
you
for it.
actually like her.
Like, why are you so far away? Oh my God, you're in the same room. Can you please sit by her? Give your
yeah.
producer a break, y'all. Thank you.
Sorry. We got to snuggle some scene on the same screen.
Go for it,
Sniggle.
Mike.
Sniggle together. Sniggle.
Sniggle. The snuggle is real, y'all.
Do we do like the arm snuggle? Like, do I get
We can like really get snuggly.
like hang?
We need like a Photoshop of like the wrong hand.
All right, Mike, go for it. What are your thoughts? I'm curious.
No, I'm just saying I don't think Facebook does things that aren't in Facebook's best interests long term. So there's got to be a reason why they're doing this to make more money. Now, maybe it's to make businesses more successful so that businesses invest more in Facebook ads. Maybe that's the perception. I'm not sure. I do think there's going to be more confusion. I do think you'll see more businesses creating a bunch of campaigns when they would have been able to just create one campaign and be a little more organized. And if they're not as well organized, they're probably going to spend more money or maybe spend money not so well. A lot of that remains to be seen as to how well regular businesses without the benefit of an Amanda next to them are going to understand this and implement this. I don't know.
So I do hear what you're saying, and I think that's a valid point because Facebook obviously will not do anything that doesn't benefit Facebook. But what I do see happening is that I would say the majority of Facebook advertisers are newbies. They're not advanced Facebook marketers. So what I'm seeing with that is they're just creating one campaign, one ad set, and one ad. So they're doing it that way anyway. Or they're creating a lot of ad sets within one campaign that are very disorganized by their own right. Like they're not targeting warm audiences versus cold audiences and creating content for each of those stages of their funnel. They're just kind of mashing it all into one campaign, which in itself is not going to get you the best success anyway. So I really feel like Facebook is kind of strong-arming you into going, no, now you actually need to create your campaign with more intention versus this haphazard, just jam it all into one campaign and have ad sets and targeting all over the map. So
Well, and that's if they're doing these things that are allowing people to get better results, which means as individual marketers and users, we're happier with our ad results, then we're more likely to spend more money. So in the long run, I don't think Mike is wrong. I think this is very selfish on Facebook's part, but in helping the marketers, it means the marketers will spend more money. It means they will put more money into their ad spend.
I see what a lot of marketers may not see is that Facebook is making changes like this every day. Every single day you log into Ads Manager or you log into your Business Manager, something's different. Or you log into your Facebook page, something's different, something's moved. They're doing this all the time anyway. They're just finally touching on something that happens to change how you have to strategize your campaigns. So it's enough that it's not just, it's just a little toggle or a little function or something's like changed a little bit. It's finally something that makes you go, oh, wait. Wait a second. This isn't just a setting. This is, I need to think about it differently. So, and this is, I'm speaking from a position of, I'm hearing this from a lot of other people. I have seen and read article headlines. I have not actually dug deep into Facebook's official announcements or anything like that. I'm starting to see the changes with the ad accounts I'm already touching. And then I'm hearing from other business professionals that this is coming in September. So there will be more. I'm sure I will have more opinions and more information on that. But just a heads up as, that's developing information from this week.
Very cool. All right, you guys. Is there anything else that you want to cover?
I just want to give a huge shout out to Tina Smith and to Esme Walsh, who are watching over on the Digital Gal. Great to see you gals tuning
And
in.
Pam, hey Pam.
And Pam, we give a shout out to Pam. She's been watching the whole time, which is fantastic.
Nice.
Yes, and all the other folks that are watching live that are just creeping. They're not.
And if you're over on my page, sorry, I literally went upstairs. I took off my jacket and came back.
What job?
What job? Hey, at least I showed up.
That was
Oh my
actually.
God. Shout out to Anisha, Meg Epps, and Scott Ayers for tuning in as well. Mike, you've got some viewers on your line too. I'm pretty sure.
Yay!
Gosh. Hey,
I
you
don't
know
know
what?
who.
Rewards his viewers.
Dude, Craig says that he supports you, Mike. So there you go. He says,
Thank
I
you,
gotta
Craig.
go with Mike on this one.
Craig's a super smart guy.
He is. He's super smart. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into the 360 Marketing Squad live. The girls are going to have their own Tiaras live stream tomorrow. So tune in, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah,
You
1
have
o'clock p.m.
a chance to win a Niagara gift pack, a Camtasia license, or a ticket to Social Media Week Lima in Ohio.
Got it. And Mike has his campaign planner. So if you are planning on launching something, that means you, Yuvi, go ahead and check that out. And as for
Got it.
me,
She's got
I'm
her
going to
copy. She was the
Legoland this
first one.
weekend. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and say bye. Let's wrap this up. Bye.
Bye bye.